Good. So a factor is a number that could go into another number without leaving a remainder, right? So the factors of 6, for instance, would be 1, 2, 3, and 6. They are all numbers that can go into 6 without leaving a remainder. Likewise, if I wanted the factors of 12, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And then if I think of the factors of, say, 18, well, the factors of 18 will be 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. All right. And if you realize all three of those have some common factors, right? So 6, 12, and 18, they all have common factors. Well, 1 is common to all of them. 2 is also common. 3 and 6, right? So the common factors of 6, 12, and 18 1, 2, 3, and 6. And the highest of all of them, the greatest common factor or the highest common factor is 6 because that's the biggest of the three of them, right? So the HCF, highest common factor, or you might also see it as GCF, greatest common factor, is 6 of 6, 12, and 18, the highest common factor or greatest common factor of 6, 12, and 18 is 6 because that's the largest number that is a factor of all of them, right? Now, just like you could find a common factor with regular numbers, you can also have common factors in algebra. So, for example, if I have 7a plus 14b, well, both 7a and 14b have a common factor of 7 because 7 can go into 7a and 7 could go into 14b. And if I were to factorize it, here's how I do it. Well, I say 7, I put it on the outside of these brackets, and I say, well, 7 times a will give me 7a, or 7a divided by 7 is just a, and then 14b divided by 7 will be 2b. And you already know how to expand the brackets, right? Using the distributive law. 7 times a is 7a, and 7 times 2b is 14b. So you see how I get the same thing that I started with? That's how you know that you have factorized correctly. Once you expand these brackets and you get back the same number, sorry, the same algebraic expression, then you have factorized correctly. All right. Now, just something to note, when you are factorizing, try to use the highest common factor, and I'll show you why. So let's say we have an example. Let's say I had 6a plus 12, right? Well, the common factor here would be 6, well, 1, 2, 3, and 6, right? Because all those four numbers can go into both 6 and 12. So if I were to just choose one of the random common factors there, let's say 2. Well, this would be 2, and in brackets, I would say 2 could go into 6a 3a times, all right? 2 times 3a gives me 6a, and 2 could go into 12 6 times. 2 times 6 is 12. However, do you notice that within the brackets, 3a and 6 still has a common factor, right? So if the question asks us to factorize 6a plus 12 completely, this would not be a correct answer because this is not a complete factorization. This is only a partial factorization. So when you are factorizing, if the terms within the brackets still have a common factor, it means you have to factorize that again, right? So this would be, you keep 2 on the outside, and then inside, you can factorize again because 3a and 6 have a common factor of 3, since 3 could go into 3a and 3 could go into 6. So this will be 3 into 3a is just a, and then 3 into 6 is 2. right? And now I can remove these square brackets by multiplying 2 by 3, which will give me 6 by a plus 2. And that is the total factorization. Now, all of this could have been avoided if I simply used the highest common factor to begin with. So if when I was factorizing 6a plus 12, had I used 6 instead, I would have been able to get to the complete answer immediately because 6 could go into 6a 8 times since 6 times a is 6a, and 6 could go into 12 2 times, 6 times 2 is 12, right? So, however, if you do end up in a situation where you didn't factorize completely, and after you factorize the first time, you realize that what you have in brackets still have a common factor, then do it again and finally remove those brackets. You'll still get the correct answer once you factorize correctly. All right, so let's look at some. Now, this was a plus. If this was a minus, if it was 6a minus 12, then it would be 6 by a minus 2, right? Because, of course, when you distribute the across the minus sign, you still want to get the original answer you started with, right? So, like, for example, if I had 2x take away 4, for instance, this would be the highest common factor here is 2. So 2 will be on the outside. 2 into 2x is x, and then 2 into 4 is 2, but it would have to be minus 2 because this is a positive 2 by a minus 2, which gives me back minus 4. So that's just something to be mindful of. Be mindful of your signs. Right? If it was all positive, then the factors will be all positive. But here, because this one is negative, it will have a minus sign in there. All right, so let's put it to the test. Zafi, you there, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you help me factorize this one? Um, 3x minus 12.
Mm. Oh, the
What's the common factor?
common factor would be 4,
No, because 4
12.
can't go into 3, right?
No, it'll be 3.
It will be 3. Good. So 3 on the outside, and then in brackets, what would I have?
We would have x
Yeah.
minus 4.
Thank you. Right. Janaya, what about 4x plus 4? What's the common factor there?
4.
Yes, 4 is the common factor. And what goes in the brackets?
X
Hmm?
and then my no plus
Yeah,
1.
that's
Wait,
right.
okay.
1 is correct because 4 times x is 4x and 4 times 1 is 4. That's correct, love. Thank you. Athena, what about 12x take away 3? What's the common factor there?
3.
Yes, 3 is right. Okay, so 3 times what gives me 12x?
3x.
3 times 4x will give me 12x.
Um,
Yeah, 3 times 3x will give me 9x. So 3 times 4 gives me 12 by x, right? And then what? What else? What's the last term in the brackets?
minus
3 into 3 is
1.
1. So 4x minus 1. Stay with me, do another one. Do, for me, 6a plus 2. What's the common factor? Athena, this one is for you again, love.
2.
That's right. What goes in the brackets?
Um, A.
Uh-huh. But what about the coefficients? 2 times A will give me 2A. 2 times what will give me 6?
3.
3. So that'll be 2. And first term is 3A. And then plus what?
1.
1. Perfect. Okay, Kaylin. Number 5. What about 5A plus 10B?
Okay, so the so 5 open brackets
Mm-hmm.
A plus 2B.
2B, correct. All right. Zafi?
Hi.
10A take away 5.
5,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the bracket it would be 2A
Yeah,
minus 1.
that's right. Okay, Janaya. Um, what about 2A plus 4B?
It will be 2 and
Yeah.
brackets A my
Mm-hmm.
why am I saying minus plus 2?
B.
Wait, yeah, 2.
Yeah. Good. Athena, number 8. 3T take away 9.
It would be 3
Yeah.
and brackets T
Yeah.
plus
Minus.
oh plus 3.
Minus 3. Yes. All right. So 3 times T is 3T. 3 times minus 3 is minus 9. Okay. Perfect. Now we can also have um the algebraic expressions too, like two terms in X or two terms in Y or whatever. Let me show you what I mean. Like if we had, for instance, X squared take away 7X. The common factor here, well, as you can see, the coefficient of X squared there is 1, and the coefficient of 7X is 7, and 1 and 7 are both prime, well, sorry, 1 is not a prime number, but 1 and 7 only have a common factor of 1, so there's nothing there. But with X squared and X is common to both X squared and X, right? So just for your information, X squared literally is X times X, right? So X squared divided by X is X, right? Since X times X gives me X squared. So the common factor here, oh wait, sorry, and then X divided by X is 1. All right, so X squared minus 7X, they both have a common factor of X. So X is the common factor that goes on the outside, and in the brackets, you'll say, well, X times X gives me X squared, so this will be X, and X times minus 7 will give me minus 7X, right? Let's look at another one like that. Say we had X squared plus 2X. Well, the common factor here is X. X could go into X squared X times, and X could go into 2X 2 times. All right. What about if I had A instead? A squared plus 6A. Well, the common factor here again is A because A could go into A and A could go into X squared. So A could go into A squared. Sorry. A times A is A squared. So this will be A, and A times 6 is 6A, right? So let's try. Kaylin, tell me, babe, what would be the common factor in 2X squared plus X?
2X? No, X squared.
Well, it'll just be x actually, because
Okay.
x squared can't go into x, right? So this would be x by 2x, because x times 2x will give me 2x squared. And then x could go into x how many times?
Once.
Once. Right? So girls, just by the way, let me just give you all this little note on the side, something to remember. Whenever you have a set of powers of the same variable. So for example, let's say I have x to the power of 3, x to the power of 4, and x to the power of 5, right? The highest common factor between x to the power of 3, 4, and 5 will be x to the power of 3, right? And the reason is that whenever you have powers, the lowest power will be the highest common factor. And I'll show you the explanation here. Well, if I have to divide x cubed by x cubed, that would be x times x times x divided by x times x times x, which will just give me 1, right? Because all of them would just cancel to give 1, right? So x cubed can be divided by x cubed without leaving a remainder. And remember, that's what factorizing is, right? Being able to divide by the term. The term has to be able to go into the other term without leaving a remainder. Similarly, x to the power of 4 can be divided by x to the power of 3 without leaving a remainder, because x to the power of 4 is x times x times x times x. And all of that over x cubed will be x times x on the bottom. And then these will cancel. 3 of them will cancel below and 3 above, leaving us with only x. X times x cubed is x to the power of 4. And similarly, x to the power of 5 will be x times x times x times x times x, so 5 x's, all divided by 3 x's. All right, and then these will cancel, 3 on top and 3 below. So the ones on the bottom have to completely cancel with the ones on the top. That's how you divide without leaving any remainder. All right, so then this would just be x times x, which is x squared. So as you can see, all of them can be divided by x to the power of 3 without leaving a remainder. Now, if I had used x to the power of 4, for instance, if I had said that was the highest common factor, well, when you divide x cubed, just to begin with, x cubed divided by x to the power of 4, here's what will happen. These 3 on top will cancel with 3 below, but you would still be left with 1x at the bottom. So this will be 1 over x, right? So that's why when you are looking at several variables with different powers, sorry, the same variable, I should say, with different powers, the one that has the lowest power will be the highest common factor. Right? So like if, for example, if I had y to the power of 5, y to the power of 2, and y to the power of 10, the highest common factor will be y to the power of 2, because that can go into y to the power of 5 and y to the power of 10 without leaving any remainders. Okay, so in the instance where you have 2x squared plus x, the highest common factor will be x, because x by itself is x to the power of 1, which is less than 2, right? So I hope that clears up some of the confusion where choosing the highest common factor when you have different powers is concerned. So let's look at another one. Let's say I had 4t minus 2t squared. So when you have the variables and coefficients, you have to look at the coefficients as well as the variable. So here I'm looking for the highest common factor of 2 and 4, which is 2. Since 2 can go into both 4 and 2 without leaving a remainder. And I'm also looking at t and t squared. So the highest common factor there will be t. Right? So 2t could go into 4t 2 times, since 2t times 2 gives me 4t. And 2t could go into 2t squared t times. because 2t times t will give me 2t squared. All right. Zafi, you there, honey?
Yeah.
What would be the common factor with x squared plus 5x?
X.
X, yes, good. And what will go in brackets?
X
Mhm.
plus 5.
Excellent. Good. Janaya, what about x squared take away 4x?
It would be x
Yeah.
brackets x minus 4x.
Nah, just minus 4. Because if it was minus 4x, then the answer would end, when you expand the brackets, it'll end up being 4x squared. Because 4x times x will give you 4x squared, right? Okay. Athena, what about b squared minus 4b?
It would be B
Yeah.
and in brackets B
Mm-hmm.
minus 4.
Perfect. And Kaylin, last one. What about 4a squared take away a?
Okay, so it would be a squared.
Not a squared, baby, just a.
Okay, a open brackets, 2a minus,
4a.
huh? 4a,
4a. Yeah,
4a minus a,
minus 1.
minus 1, sorry.
Yeah. Because remember, when you expand these brackets, it has to give you back this, right? A by 4a will be 4a squared, and a by minus 1 is minus a. Cool?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, girls. I need to take a 5 minutes because I need to get some water. So let's just pause for a few minutes, please. Right. So for 2x squared minus 6x, you got to look at the coefficients as well as the variables, right? So the coefficients, 2 and 6, the highest common factor there is 2. And the highest common factor between x squared and x is x, the one with the lower power, right? X by itself, the power of x, when it's by itself, is just 1. 1 is less than 2. So the highest common factor there is 2x. 2x times x gives me back 2x squared, and 2x times minus 3 gives me minus 6x. All right. Now you can have more than one term, more than two terms, sorry. You could even have three terms. Like for example, AB plus 2BC plus BD. If you notice, all of them have B in common, right? So B would be the common factor. B into AB is A because B times A is AB, right? B into 2BC will be 2C because B times 2C will be 2BC. And then B into BD will just be D because B times D is BD. Now, girls, by the way, AB is the same as BA, right? Because as you know, multiplication is commutative, meaning that the order does not matter. So A times B, which is AB, is the same as B times A, right? And just to see that, let me just use some real numbers. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. They're both 6, right? So just be careful with that. Just not be careful, but be mindful of it. Let's do another one with that. So 3 terms. Say we have 2x squared plus 4x plus 6. Well, the common factor here, x wouldn't be a part of the common factor because the term 6 does not have x in it, right? However, if you look at the coefficients 2, 4, and 6, they all have 2 in common. So the highest common factor there will just be 2. So this will be 2 into x squared, because 2 times x squared is 2x squared, plus 2 times 2x will give me 4x, and then 2 times 3 gives me 6. So that would be the factorization there. Safi, you want to try one with me? 10a squared minus 5a plus 20. Safi.
Okay, the factor would be 5,
Mm-hmm.
and in the bracket, it would be 2 is squared,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then minus a
Yeah,
plus 4.
that's right. Very good. Thank you. Janaya, what about AB plus 4BC minus 3BD? Janaya, can you do this one with me, love?
Yes, I think
All right,
so.
try.
It would be B and brackets A
Yeah,
plus 4C
yeah,
minus 3D.
that's right. Okay. Um, Kaylin, let's try one. What about 8x minus 4y plus 12z?
Okay. So for
Mhm.
open brackets,
Yeah.
2x minus y
Yeah.
minus 3z
Plus.
plus.
Excellent.
Okay.
I wonder if Atina is back. Atina, are you there, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. How about um 3x squared minus 6x plus 9?
Um, I think it would be 3.
Yeah, it'll be 3.
What?
Well, go in the brackets. 3 into 3x squared will be what? Or what? 3 times what will give you 3x squared?
Miss Anasha, I don't understand.
Well, 3 times x squared will give you 3x squared. Because remember, what you're doing is you're saying 3x squared divided by 3, right? To give you x squared. And then you're going to look at 6x. How many times can 3 go into 6x?
Twice, 2
Yep.
times.
So 2x, because 3 times 2x will give you minus 6. Well, 3 times minus 2x will give you minus 6x. And then 3 times what will give you 9?
3.
3. Right? So it's the same way like how we were doing these, except this one has 3 terms, right? So 3 times x squared gives me back 3x squared. 3 times minus 2x gives me minus 6x, and 3 times 3 gives me 9. All right? Can you do another one with me, love? Just to seal the deal. What about if
Okay.
I had 4a squared plus 8a minus 4? What's the common factor of all three?
Um, A?
No, not a,
No,
because,
no, no.
yeah,
It's 4. It's 4.
yeah, it's 4. Correct. So it'll be 4. Good. So 4 times what will give me 4a squared?
Um, A 12.
Yeah. And then 4 times what will give me 8a?
2.
A, 2a, because it's 8a. And then 4 times what will give me minus 4?
1.
Yeah. All right. Um, who could tell me this one? Um, is this number 26? Yes, it is. Who could tell me 9ab minus 6ac minus 3ad? Somebody give this one a shot for me now. What do you think is the common factor? Anybody, just give it a shot.
3.
3a. Is that what you said, or you just said 3?
It's a 3.
Okay, good. So it'll be 3a. And what will go in the brackets then?
3B.
Yes, right. Because 3a times 3b will be 3 by 3 is 9, and a by b is ab. Good. And then what?
Minus 2C.
Mm-hmm. And the final part?
3AD.
Just d.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, you're multiplying 3a by d to give you back 3ad, right?
Okay.
Good.
Mhm.
Beautiful. All right, girls. So I'm gonna stop that recording.